got his top line. Will you hold his tail in? Up. Got his top line set in. This is level, and this isn't finished yet, but I'm getting the shape. So this is level. Now I want to create this nice angulation here. And you have to imagine, just pretend this dog didn't have the scissored tail. It's the same angle you put on any other poodle. You want that same angulation from this bone to the bend in the leg. So I'm still going to make that angle just as if he didn't have the scissored tail. And this, if you don't get this angle right, it will throw off the trim that you're doing on this dog. It will just mess everything up. So you got to make sure you get this angle right.
I have to say, as a judge, that's probably one of the number one things. And I think what they do is they end up dropping that point down,
too long,
actually low, below where the point of hip, the point of rump is. So if you actually follow the dog's bone structure, the tail should actually be set halfway between the point of hip and the point of rump. So the point of rump isn't down here. So that's what a lot of people tend to do, is they're not actually following the bone. All you need to do is really follow his structure.
And it's either that or they make this shelf like they used to do with the show dogs. They make this huge shelf coming out, and that shelf always makes the dog look longer in body. So if you have a dog with a nice tail set and you just lay your comb down here from this bone to this bone, from your point of hip to your point of rump, that's the angle we're going to cut in. Just with that comb laying across there, you can see this angle. And if you have a hard time doing that, you can put your comb in, just put your comb into the hair, lay it down on that bone, and cut that straight across. That'll set that angle in. But since I've already cut some off with the snap-on comb, I'm going to have to scissor this in. Now, another mistake is leaving too much hair in this area right underneath the tail. This should actually be pretty tight right underneath the tail. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off before I set in my angle. And take that in nice and tight. What are you doing?
Sorry.
You playing? Okay, so I've tightened that angle up here. So now I'm going to take my straight shears and I'm going to follow the angle that we just talked about, make this nice and crisp. And basically, stop. Basically, when I set this angle in, I'm going to follow this right around the edge of the dog's leg, and this is going to set in my length of the hips.
Do you want them lowered again so you don't have to lift your arms so high?
Okay, so I'm going to come in here, scissor this angle in nice and tight, and I want to follow this straight off the rear, straight past his rump. So as I come off this way, then I'm going to go back in at that angle to finish it off. So, and once you get this set in, make sure you smooth your hips out with your curved shears. You don't want to point there. Make sure you smooth that out. Okay, now that I've got my angle, you can see he's starting to sag a little bit. But you have to pretend this tail's not here. If I take my hand and put my hand over this tail, you can see this angle I've set in. And on a black dog, when you look at this dog from a distance, that just looks so amazing. It does. I just love it. You know, there's nothing like seeing a dog, any breed really, if it's done to breed standard and it's got style and it's got elegance, it's just, you know, it'll almost give you goosebumps when you see it. Not me, but, you know, I'm not like that. Okay, so I'm going to scissor in like this way, okay? So what I'm going to do here, from the point of the rump right here, I'm going to take my curves at an angle.
Stop.
And I'm going to follow this clipper work that we set in. Stop. So I'm going to follow this clipper work we set in and make this nice and tight. And it's already pretty tight, but this is just going to make the lines look a little bit neater and give it a little bit more flair to it. So, and as I do this, I'm going to work my way around this dog's leg, right around the side of the dog's leg. So just taking off some of this bulk. And I can come all the way up to the knee, but I don't want to get into the knee yet, because I'm going to scissor that in from a different angle. So basically, when I look at this dog from behind, I don't want anything hanging out of place. I want everything to look like it just falls right into place. I don't want to see the legs sticking out away from the body. I want everything to be nice and smooth.